Y'all, this movie got some fine people in it, so let's watch. Layla Calloway is performing with the Philharmonic when she sees the ghost of her dead sister, Anaya. Layla's fingers break all of a sudden, and she can no longer play. Lucky for her, it's all just a nightmare. Yeah, not being able to finger myself would send me in a spiral too. Layla has no family and she has racked up some debts, so she stays with her best friend Jazz while trying to make ends meet. Her dream is to play with the Philharmonic someday. Layla doesn't even have a boyfriend, so Jazz drags her to the club to have some fun.
So how about you audition for some dick instead?
At the club, she just isn't feeling it, so she leaves early and heads to a diner. There she meets a fine man who shows her some attention. Because it's been so long since Layla's been plowed, she gives in and sleeps with the stranger. Y'all, the scene was spicy. My toes were curling and my anus was clenched. The next day she finds a note from the guy introducing himself as Marcus. Layla works as a music teacher as she waits for another audition for the Philharmonic. That day she is approached by Audra Jelani, who is looking for a live-in tutor for her granddaughter Zuri. Layla declines the offer, so Audra invites her to the house so she can meet the girl herself. Layla is shocked to see how rich the family is. Audra explains that Zuri is allergic to a lot of things, so the house is designed to be hypoallergenic. This means that they'll provide Layla's clothes. Zuri's mom, Imani, works as a model, and she's rude from the very start. Audra reveals that Imani was married to the famous rapper, RGB, and Zuri was the result of that relationship. RGB died of an overdose on Zuri's birthday, so the family doesn't really talk about him. Imani's second husband worked with RGB, and that's how he and Imani met. Layla forms an immediate connection with Zuri, even though the child always wears the mask her father gave her.
If you die in your dreams, you die in real life.
That mask alone would have me declining the job. Because the job pays $2,500 a week, Layla agrees to move in. After moving in, Layla meets Eric, the family's private bodyguard. She also meets Femi, the cook. Layla is overjoyed to see that she has the guest house all to herself, but that little girl just pops out of nowhere and leaves. Medipens are available just in case Zuri needs one. On top of that, Layla is expected to help around the house. When Layla serves Zuri her breakfast, Imani gives her the fattest attitude. And for the first time, Zuri is actually forced to remove her mask. Her resemblance to Layla's sister is uncanny, and Layla is taken aback by this. One day, Imani's husband comes home, and Layla is shocked to see that it's the fine man she slept with. Marcus acts cool and pretends he did not slide into her crack the other day. But Layla's vag is quivering, so she drops his food. Later on, Marcus accuses Layla of following him, so Layla snaps back and insists she will quit right now to avoid this mess. Marcus apologizes for what happened and begs Layla to stay for a few days to avoid any suspicion, even doubling her pay. Later, Imani is crying in her closet, so Layla goes over to see what's wrong. Imani feels insecure about her relationship and says Marcus is a fine man that people love to stare at. Then weirdly asks Layla,
Have you ever been choked during?
Choking her while doing that is giving closeted lesbian vibes. While helping Imani clean her closet, Layla sees a gun hidden along with family pictures. Zuri's lessons are going well, and soon enough, Layla gains her trust. Zuri becomes more comfortable that she regularly removes her mask when Layla is around. After talking to the kid, Layla has realized that Zuri has been feeling lonely. When Layla raises the concern of Zuri's socialization, Audra reveals that Zuri was the one who found RGB's dead body. They think that Zuri clings to the mask because it's a gift from her father. But Layla thinks that Zuri wears the mask as a form of protection. Seeing how genuine Layla is, Audra invites her to join the family for dinner. When Layla takes Zuri to school, she sees an old woman watching them. Later that night, Layla goes to dinner wearing Imani's old dress. Audra gave it to her because Imani no longer wears it. Marcus can't help but stare when he sees Layla. And Lord, his look of yearning has my coochie salivating. When they say grace, Imani tells Layla to say, "Cleanse me from my sins," making Layla think that Imani knows about the bedroom exercise she performed with Marcus. The next day, Layla takes Zuri out of the house for a lesson. Unfortunately, Zuri gets stung by a bee and gets an allergic reaction. Lucky for her, Layla grabs the EpiPen just in time. Imani is furious when she finds out, and she lashes out at Layla. Later that night, Layla admits to Marcus that her sister died of asthma. She was about Zuri's age, and she died in Layla's arms. On the other hand, Marcus reveals that he and RGB were really good friends, and all that he wanted was to protect RGB's legacy and his family. Layla and Marcus comfort each other, but Layla pulls away before she accidentally falls onto his D. However, temptation has gotten to Marcus, and he follows Layla to her bedroom. Layla thinks about Imani, but she too gives in. And y'all, the abs were abbing, the thrusts were thrusting. The next day, she is shocked to see a mark on her neck from the steamy encounter. She immediately covers it and sees a cute note from Marcus. "You make me feel alive." Later that day, the old woman tries to grab Zuri from Layla. Fortunately, the guards quickly pull her away. Marcus thinks the woman is one of RGB's crazy fans. Monty gets angry again when she finds out that Marcus intentionally hid this truth from her. She insists she has the right to know what's happening to her daughter. After that, Layla is ordered to prepare a hot bath for Imani. Imani forcefully makes Layla touch her pregnant belly. Then she and Imani are finally having a peaceful conversation, and Imani even apologizes for snapping at her. However, when Layla brushes her hair to the side, her kiss mark gets exposed. She covers it again to hide it. Even though she almost got caught, Layla continues her affair with Marcus. Trifling, but I know you'd do it too. One night, Marcus asks her to play a musical piece at his son's baby shower. His friend from the Philharmonic will be there, and Layla can show off during her violin solo. Layla is excited because she failed 2 auditions already and is hoping to impress Marcus's friend from the orchestra. However, what started as a beautiful performance turns into a disappointing solo when the violin starts to make a screeching sound. Marcus's friend looks disappointed. Just then, Layla discovers that her violin is broken, and stuck in it is a note from Imani. She knows about the affair. Realizing that Imani sabotaged her performance, Layla charges at her. Layla screams at Imani, wondering why she would sabotage her. "Girl, you're literally sucking her man's D." Eric acts right away and pulls her to the side, but the guests have already witnessed the commotion. Audra learns the truth and is disappointed, but she still asks Layla to stay for 1 more week to prepare Zuri for her recital. That night, Jas sends a message to Layla, saying that the old woman at school was RGB's mother, Charmaine. Wanting to know what the family is hiding, Layla and Jas pay Charmaine a visit the next day. Charmaine reveals that her son had an after-school program. He had more than enough money to go around, and he wanted to give back. Charmaine was on the board and handled the finances. However, a few months after the rapper's death, Charmaine could no longer access the money. The bank told her the trust got amended, though they never revealed who did it. Apparently, RGB said someone was trying to steal the money that was meant to be for Zuri, and if something bad were to happen to him, he left a clue in the house to reveal the truth. Charmaine is convinced that her son didn't die of an overdose and that Imani killed her son. She asked Layla to look for the clue RGB was talking about. On the way back, Layla finds the clue she's looking for in one of RGB's songs. In the song, RGB sang about a snake and how something doesn't feel right. The album cover is a white mask. Upon arriving at the house, Layla checks the terrarium where RGB's pet snake is. She grabs the little box with the mask design and finds a hidden analog tape with a date written on it. Layla has just left the room when she overhears Audra and Marcus talking. Apparently, Audra promised Marcus a son, and now Imani is carrying one. Layla is shocked when the two start to make out, and Marcus carries Audra to the bed to eat her out. Then she demands him to choke her. "Okay, cougar clams, get it." Layla is about to leave when Marcus walks in. Marcus says that Zuri will be home late, and they want Layla to join them for dinner. Layla tries flirting with Marcus, but he gives her the cold shoulder. Layla is surprised that Imani will be eating with them. Marcus and Audra keep asking if Zuri has said anything about her father, and when Layla refuses to say anything, Marcus loses his patience and threatens to hurt Zuri. Just then, Imani loses consciousness. Audra finally shows her true colors and orders Eric to look into Layla's violin case. He hands the analog tape to Marcus as soon as he finds it. Layla is already getting dizzy, and escape is impossible. Marcus reveals that he was the one who made RGB. Yet RGB left all of his money to Zuri, so Marcus conspired with Audra to kill the rapper and steal his money. They needed to get rid of Zuri too, so they hired Layla to be their scapegoat. See, this why I can no longer trust foreign men. Audra explains that she gave Zuri food she's allergic to. When Imani wakes up to find her daughter dead, she'll immediately blame Layla. Imani knows about the affair and is aware that Layla hates her after she sabotaged her violin solo. It will not be difficult to prove because the guests saw Layla attacking Imani. To cut all loose ends, Layla will kill herself out of guilt. This is all part of Marcus and Audra's elaborate plan to get RGB's wealth. Layla faints, and Eric quickly takes her to the car. When they arrive at the location, Eric sets up the scene to make it look like Layla drove off a cliff. But Layla wakes up and stabs Eric with the EpiPen in the car. She uses all her strength to fight back and successfully kills Eric. Then Layla drives back to the mansion to get Zuri and Imani. She's relieved that Zuri is still alive. It turns out that the girl was already suspicious, so she didn't eat the food that was given to her. Layla then leaves the kid to look for Imani. She catches Marcus listening to the tape RGB left behind. It's a recording of their argument about money. Marcus was against RGB, leaving all his wealth to Zuri, so RGB fired him. Then RGB made a separate recording saying that if he were to die, Marcus is the one who did it. Unfortunately, Marcus sees Layla. He tries convincing her that he's a good guy, and when that fails, he hits Layla and strangles her. He even breaks Layla's fingers. Mind you, those fingers fingered Marcus's anus. Layla manages to escape only to be stopped by Audra. Imani wakes up because of the screams and starts to search for RGB's gun. But it's not in the box because Audra took it. Marcus finds Zuri and drags her downstairs as per Audra's order, but he can't get himself to kill the kid. Audra explains that she did everything to ensure that Imani would be successful. So she was disappointed when Imani fell in love with RGB, whom she referred to as ghetto trash. So after stealing the rapper's money, they'd kill Zuri because she doesn't care about her. They will focus on Marcus and Imani's son instead. To Layla's surprise, Audra shoots Marcus dead. Just then, Imani shows up and makes her way down the stairs. Audra worries about her daughter and tells her to stay put. Audra lies and says Marcus and Layla tried to harm Zuri. As Audra is distracted, Layla takes the chance to grab the gun from Audra, and a few shots are fired towards the huge chandelier. The entire thing collapses and falls onto Audra, killing her on the spot. Sometime after that, Zuri shows off at her recital. Imani, Charmaine, Jas, and Layla are all there to support her. Audra is now dead and gone, but Layla imagines seeing her around. In the meantime, Layla's focus is on Zuri and on rebuilding herself to finally achieve her dreams. The actors did a great job on this. Love anything, Lynn Whitfield. Such a legend. What did you guys think of this one?
If you like this video, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications because YouTube isn't recommending my videos. So, if you like to watch more foolishness, you can click here or here.